This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. I think we've got a quorum. Tom is not at site, he's off site on Zoom, so I'm going to run the meeting tonight. First of all, we have our minutes from July 14th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing those, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meetings, minutes are approved. Audience of citizens, anybody here not part of the agenda would like to talk? Hearing none, I'll move on. I'm going to suggest that we move item 5 up on the agenda. So,
Motion to move item number 5 up on the agenda.
Second it.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none, we're going to let Tom talk about the senior center.
What should we talk about?
Okay, I'll just start off with, I relayed the message from you guys, like, to kind of close things out with his firm.
Yep.
And have like almost like a status report. And then he's like, well, why don't I come and talk to you guys about this before doing that? And I think that's why Tom is here, to just kind of like, well, where are we? Where are we going? How do you want it? Like, if the PBC wants to close this out, how do you see it, I guess, is the
That's a good question. I don't know what's going on. I've had no communication with the senior center subcommittee. I don't know if that committee still exists. I'm interested to know what the scope of the project is or where it's going. We've executed our services. I think we've billed and been paid. So relative to this committee and the services we've executed, we consider ourselves whole. We have a little more billing that's sitting there, but I don't think we can. I don't know if we can really bill it. I think overall where we are in relation to our contract is pretty commensurate. So if the committee and the town have decided, hey, we're not going to pursue this project anymore, we're in a position where we're not going to bill anymore. What was basically left on our contract was to do the completion of the public outreach, and then any revisions that we would make to the concept, would be incorporated into the document and taken to referendum. The second half of our contract, which was a big chunk, was all sort of post-referendum services, the development of a design build package. So barring any change to our contract or change in the scope of the work, we're really at status quo. So I guess my point was, I didn't know if this is something the committee is going to continue to pursue. Does it make sense to leave our contract open? If the committees need support, if not, and close the contract, then there's really no damages or claims or anything either way. Maybe the building commission just issues a letter saying at this point we're going to decide, we've decided to stop pursuing this project. And,
So I would say, based on the contract we have with you, with all the deliverables in your contract, if you could write something just really quick saying that we've completed all the deliverables to date, we're awaiting the status, because we don't know the status of this project from the town, honestly. We didn't know where you were, because I know you worked with the town council a little bit, with the other committees. So we weren't sure 100% where you were with it. And if you think that we've met all the deliverables, or let's back up, let's say there's deliverables that haven't been done yet, we cite those as well. So we've met all these subsections. Again, the idea is to make sure that there's no pushback later. So, well, he never fulfilled his contract. He never did what we asked him to. So what we want to do is keep it clean for everyone, and just make sure that we're all in agreement. And by you putting that together, bringing it back before us, because we're the one contracted with you, we could say, yes, he completed all these portions of his contract. These are what's remaining. Maybe we shelve the contract at that point until we have further direction. And we're all in agreement. We are. You send it back to the town council and say, here's where we stand with it. We're clean. What do you want to do? So again, it's just to try to help you. I don't want you out in a nebulous area And someone, 6 months from now takes a shot and says, well, he never did anything. That isn't what we want. We want to make sure it's documented very well, that we paid you on it. I think we're in good shape, but I just want to make sure we close out the loop as much as possible.
Sure. We can do that.
Yeah, I was under the impression they may be going back and giving that sort of revised
They may.
statement of need, but we haven't seen that.
Correct.
And that basically starts our clock ticking over.
I'd like
That's
to,
the only, I'm sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
That's
but
the
I'd
only
like to keep
reason-
your contract open, if we can. Because again, I don't want to have to go back out to the RFP process. If they do a revised statement of need, I'd rather have you open, bring you back in.
Well, and it would make most sense because he's the most familiar with
Correct.
where we are to now, and any changes that we're making as a town, he would be in the best position to move forward with those changes.
Well, also to timing. It'll take us 6 months, 7
Or
months to
more.
go back out to bid or more. we got him. I don't want to let him go, but on the same token, I don't want him to say that he hasn't done anything for the work.
You're absolutely right.
I don't believe our contract has a time limitation
It doesn't.
in it. The B101 does sometimes have contract terms, but as long as the contract's not terminated, it can just be
We
dormant.
I think-
we waived his contract during COVID.
Oh,
We gave him a contract, sort of open-ended it. I think there was a change order we gave him, open-ending the contract for the completion date. And I don't think we ever put a hard date on it.
yeah.
So I
No.
think he's fine.
There was a,
If I remember correctly.
yeah, I think it was a 14-month in the EAA agreement, and then I think we were struggling with that because COVID just threw that out the window.
Yeah.
So I think we actually did something. I don't know if there was an end date in that change, and I'll just take a look
So
at
if
that.
there's not,
We
do
should
another
do
change
something.
order.
Yes,
we'll do another open-ended change order.
I personally like the idea of keeping that open because then we could do another change order if something comes down and hey, we need drawings in 2 months. No one else is going to come in and do it,
Correct.
Well, again,
and no one else should.
the timeframe will,
Well,
be much greater, and the learning curve is just insurmountable. It's just not worth it.
no, I'd like to continue supporting the community in pursuit of this project. And whatever that means, is it a smaller project or a bigger project or a different project? Either way, we have a lot of sort of invested knowledge that I think we can help the community have success if they pursue it. So,
And I don't think we're going to lose that either. I mean, I think it's a value to all of us not to lose that. It's important. So,
Yeah. Plus, you have that website set up. I mean, it's there.
it
It's-
is.
and I haven't asked about it, but it's still there, right? Like it's still operating.
there,
People
yeah.
can comment on it and view things. So that alone is worth, maintaining this, in my view.
Great, so I'll send you a summary letter and just tell you where I am. That
Just
we're
restate-
holding until we receive further direction from.
Restate the financial side of it, saying, pay for all the services which have been completed, because we authorized payment for it, so we agreed to complete it. And anything that's left that we haven't done, executed against, just state that as well too. And then we'll just leave your contract in hold or limbo.
Yeah, it could be for a while.
Nobody
No, it is.
foresaw how this whole process was going to.
well, the process and COVID and everything else.
Hijacked and left this out in the dark here, so.
Yeah.
And we are the one who holds the contract, so we just want to make sure we're doing right by you too.
Great. All right, awesome. Well, good to see you guys. Hope everyone's well, families are well.
And if I find out what's going on, I'll let you know.
All right.
If any of us
Good.
And everyone else too.
Perfect.
I think there's a lot of stuff
Thank you
behind the
very much.
scenes.
Thank you guys. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks for everything.
Thanks for coming, Tom.
I don't know. It came with the jacket. It looks
Oh,
kind of
okay.
cool, doesn't it? I don't know. I just buy the
So,
stuff my better half tells me to buy.
I got you.
Take care.
Hey, thanks. Good to see you guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Very good.
Okay, anything else to discuss on the senior center? Capital? Now we'll go back to number 4, expansion and renovation of the police locker room facilities. Update.
Yeah, we, on that, the hot ticket on that item is the agreement with Jakunski Humes. They sent us back revisions. They agreed to the 5-day turnaround on the critical RFIs, 10 days on everything else. They added a year on the actual contract term because, you guys are pointing out it's not going to be 2 years, it might be, with supply chain and all that. So he went and he added a 24-month construction period, so the whole thing's 36 months. So inside, and then there were a few other issues. Jeff had an issue about confidentiality, put that language in there. There's some financial things about reimbursables, like tack-ons and stuff. I think 10% on consultants and then 15% on reimbursables. I don't know if that's reasonable, but to me, this is almost ready to go to Jeff D'Onofrio for that final vetting. And then after that, if everyone's in agreement, it can go to town council saying, this is $300,000 to design this, and then put it out there and see. I have to talk to Kevin about where the funding's coming from.
The motion,
Um,
move forward to finalize the contract and give it to the town, or get it to the town council for approval.
well, I don't even know if I need a motion to go to Jeff.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
I don't think you do.
Okay, all right. Well, if you want, you could do the whole thing in one shot. I can get him
Yeah.
vet it, maybe circulate it one more time. He vets it, and then any comments he have goes back around. Then I can take it to town council to an agenda item. So, if you
Because
want.
I think that's the only thing we have to do is vote to send it to town council.
Okay,
I think that's the last thing.
subject to corporation council's review. How about that?
I think that's the way to go right now. Let's get it to corporate counsel, let him review it, get his comments, and then we'll send it in one package. Does that make sense to everyone? Or?
Makes sense to me.
All right.
So we'll do that in September.
So, is there a motion that we have to?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
Well, I think to go to council. We
We definitely got to give
We can do that in September.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so we'll wait.
Right, so wrap it up for the
Yeah,
next
right.
meeting. Okay. Yeah, it's going to take a while. And the meeting's September 6th anyway. So we're going to do there's 2 meetings in September, so we get the second one. All right.
All right.
I'm clear, Lisa. Always. All right, so I'll take a final look, send it to Jeff, send him, get comments he has, circulate it around, and we'll talk about it in the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, and I think that was it on. Yeah.
Okay. Number 6, Board of Education, elementary HVAC upgrades.
Right. The hot item on that is the construction manager's RFP. I apologize. I did my usual, an hour before the meeting. Well, maybe 2 hours, but I did application, whatever. So I sent it around. I put most of the comments in that were mentioned at the last meeting. Jeff D'Onofrio reviewed items 7 and 10, which had the conflict of interest, and if you know people on the interview panel, he sent an affidavit, which is right there, that I think looks fine, but you guys can take a look at that. I adapted, what I did was I went into the document and I redlined the most recent changes so you guys can see it quickly, and there's a couple of hard copies there. I sent a PDF. You take a look at it. I think it's pretty close. Jeff also mentioned that the AIA contract, B801, has now been replaced with A132. So I changed that in the RFP as well. I left all the dates blank until you direct me to put it out in the street. So, and I know Jim had a certain calendar in mind. So take a look at it. Send me any comments.
I think what we have to do is an Exhibit A.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm saying that, or whatever exhibit you want to call it, is for like the conditions we just walked down in the field tonight, or what are we going to do with chases, stuff like that. I think we need to get that clarified because it's only going to come back as RFI questions if we don't clarify.
Oh, I know. Yeah. That's covered right now. This was under pre-construction services, but the language is in his. Oh no, it's not this. Do you have one, Tom? The
I just got
I
it
didn't.
out tonight.
No, yeah. Actually, I have it right here. Yeah, it was add pre-construction services from all 3 schools for pre-construction and pre-bid exploratory investigations at all 3 schools to identify utility conflicts, potential hazardous material issues, scope additions, and other constructability or cost items. Maybe it could be more specific and about like the univentilators and millwork and throw some specifics in there.
I could be happening during the walkthrough.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I do.
there's kind of like generally mentioned in here, but you guys want to get into nitty gritty, really, and have the CM,
Yeah.
Make sure that everything's working and tighten up any loose parts of the drawings, which there are. There are.
And then the other part to that too is we talked about the commissioning. Where do we leave that with the commissioning agent?
Town hires it, but the CM is supposed to be coordinating with. Yeah.
What else is good?
I'll have to add that in there.
It's all wrong, just tile and mask. A couple of things, like chases, blockers, but I think that's clear. Okay.
May find.
All right, I'll make sure
You
that
might
this
run
gets
into
in there.
something, but there's no way to eliminate that.
No.
Hey, Mike,
And those chases we make.
Yes, Tom.
the new form, the
Can you hear me?
A1, yeah, the new A132 replacing the B801. Did Jeff indicate there was anything in the form different than what he was used to? Because he's the one that liked the B801.
Could you repeat that, Tom? Get a little closer to your mic.
Okay? The A132
Oh,
form replacing the B801 AIA form. Is there anything in it we need to worry about?
I'm going to take a look because he also referenced that there's a general condition form 8232. So I took a quick look at the 132, which is the actual agreement, but then the general conditions, I don't know what's in that. I have to go take a look at it. I think we can get Jeff's input on that too, but I haven't checked it, Tom.
Okay, because Jeff's the one who liked the B801.
Yeah. Well, he's the one who said, that form was discontinued. And he
Okay.
has all the AIA, copyrights and forms and all, and we can get them from him too. So
Okay.
what are you worried about? Is there anything in particular?
Yeah, since Jeff liked the B801, he didn't say whether he liked the new stuff or he didn't like the new forms.
Oh,
And
okay.
I know we had some, we weren't all in agreement about using the B801 back when, but we decided to use it because Jeff liked it.
Okay. Right.
So as long as he likes
Is there
it.
was there any other, I'm sorry,
Well,
Jeff.
Yeah, I think the other issue was because at one point we were using the consensus docs or something less traditional, I think. I don't think it
Right.
was a matter of, I don't even think there was a third option per se, but.
Well, instead
We
of
definitely don't want to use consensus.
yeah. He's okay with them. I'm okay with him.
Okay. So that was the change, a couple of the changes that were in the RFP. Is there anything else? Well, you have the invoice. But, yeah. So take a look at it. Give me any comments, and then we can. I'll take a look at the A132 and the A232, and actually get them from Jeff, and make sure there's nothing that's going to conflict with the scope. And then at some point we can put it out there once it's finalized. Put it out to bid. And the money, I believe the money is in place too. The $5 million that comes out of that. Yeah. So the funding's not, that's typically what we have problems. So that's sort of where we stand with the schools and the priority item.
We do have an outstanding invoice from Keys Group for the cost estimate for Griswold School, $2,200. So
What is that?
we have an outstanding invoice from Keys Group
Oh, okay.
for the cost estimate of $2,200.
Which we reviewed and commented on that estimate, so it's been accepted and with some reservations.
We hired him to do it.
So I'll look for a motion to approve that.
Make a motion we approve.
Second,
I'll second it.
any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion approved. Anything else on the elementary schools based on our walk or anything? We talked about the items.
Well, for the like the chillers and one outside, I mean, do we need the plans changed? How do we address that? You know, we had talked about not being across the sidewalk, you know, being built into the hill, perhaps another option. What should we do if anything for that?
I think that's something that we should address when we do the walkthrough.
Okay.
You know, and let's put it as an RFI then.
Maybe,
Sure.
maybe get some feedback. So,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Maybe reasoning why they decided to put it there.
Not make a change, but do it through an RFI.
Because we don't know.
Yeah.
Could have been a clearance issue, wind draft off the building, I don't know.
Right.
Those cooling towers get sensitive.
Do you also want me to ask about the possibility of doing chases that you had suggested?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. They probably don't care.
Right.
It's a visual thing.
And that was the second story shed, or actually the first floor, which is the
It's the
second.
basement level.
Yeah, so the basement level is where you'd actually then go vertical versus, or you'd actually come down from the ceiling, right?
Yep.
And then it would go up.
Yeah, right there, you 90 up.
Yeah.
Whether or not
TNA,
you
whatever.
can run one line for 2 rooms on the ground
So that's
floor,
another question.
and then it could feed the 2 rooms above it as well. Yeah, the line sizing will have to change, but instead of running, 4 sets of lines for the 4 rooms.
Yeah, I don't know how the balancing would work. That's the whole question. That's
Well,
why we asked the
I guess
question.
I'm just looking at it in the sense of it's essentially equal.
Yeah.
You know, if it's equal spacing, it kind of makes it easier as opposed to if it was a crazy run.
Balance on the individual units.
Well, again, that's why as long as it's equal, I look as it's reasonable. If it was odd, I would say, yeah, don't
So
do it.
if you could do it, you'd save quite a bit of copper.
Do you want me to ask a question about the balancing and just confirm that they?
Yeah,
can be-
confirm it that the unit,
Okay.
that they're balanced at the unit.
I mean, they
Okay.
may still want to.
There may be a major
How are they
balancing valve.
feeding the first for the first floor? Are they running a whole nother line all the way down the?
Oh, it starts from underneath.
Oh,
Yeah.
underneath. it?
Everything's from underneath.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, I can do that online. I might think of a few other things maybe that you guys can, or chime in. If any other questions pop up, just email me. I can kind of
Yeah.
pop a note into CES and see if they,
Because I know they make a standard chase, like the mechanical contractors can buy it. It's a metal chase. It's multiple size.
oh, yeah,
It's a 2-piece
Yeah.
snap together or bolt together.
right,
So, I mean, that ends the problem.
yeah.
They might not even need to do a stud with sheetrock and all that.
They you know what they'll do? They'll file to go to, what do you call it? Flex line. To run all the way down, connect to the unit with braided line.
Yeah.
You want any valves anywhere? I mean, there's not a lot of valves in that system.
Yeah, we're gonna isolate each unit somehow.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
on the branch line.
There's nothing shown on the drawings.
There should be every single
You
one.
would think at least every tap coming off into the room.
From the hallway.
Right, from the hallway.
But
Doesn't show it. But you would
No,
think
there
if
should be
you
a-
had a
yeah.
problem with that unit, that you should be able to isolate it.
It would kill the one up and down, but at least you could shut them off.
To the point, do you want to be able to shut off each one individually, or, if we do 2 or 4, I mean.
Well, you figure it out and let us know. We'll make sure it's bought that way.
Yeah, because I don't know if the detail shows to have isolation at within the unit.
It
or
shows a 3-way isolation valve built into the unit.
Nice to have isolation at the branch line, at the mains.
So, I mean, now with the valve, if that's what you want, make sure you mark up a drawing and let's get it to them. Because I want to buy it that way. I don't want to do a change order.
Because if you ever have a unit go fail, you'd have to
Can
shut the
isolate.
whole wing
Yeah, we
down
wanna shut a
to
whole loop
work
down.
on
Oh, right,
And that's what it's shown on the drawings. Now it's got valves at the end of the hallway.
yeah.
it. Now you lose the whole wing.
You know, yeah, the
Yeah,
whole, both levels.
Yeah, each supply and return should have an isolation valve for each unit.
Take a good look at that, all right?
Again, if it's if it comes in, it's for 2 units, at least for the 2 units, as opposed to the whole floor.
Because even, I know it would come up if we hired the, what do you call it, guy, the testing and balancing guy, or the commissioning agent.
Yeah.
That's one thing they're going to recommend right away anyways. we're gonna pay for it then. I'd rather buy it up front.
Okay, then it becomes a change order.
Does it make any sense to try to get the commissioning agent on like now? As soon as they authorize the project, let them go through the drawings, mark it up before we buy it. I mean, that probably makes the most sense, even with the pumps and stuff like that. I mean, we changed some of that stuff in high school.
The town hires a commission agent direct.
Yes.
Yeah, we put it out, or the town puts it out. I forget how it works.
We would request if possible to utilize CES though for continuity. They're a Berlin business or on-state contract. We could go to council for that approval. If
I have no preference.
If the commission's in agreement.
Oh, you mean they'd be the commissioning agent?
Yeah, because they've done the other buildings.
But, so they would be looking at their own drawings? No?
No, they'd be looking at these drawings.
Yeah, but the CES is,
I'm sorry, SES.
oh, okay, I was like, oh,
That was,
I was like,
kind of a conflict.
yeah, okay.
Right?
Everything looks great.
Yeah,
I knew what he meant, but I did the same screw up before.
gotcha. All right, I feel better about that.
SES.
Yeah. So that relates back to the construction manager's RFP. So you would have them actually involved in the pre-construction phase,
I
the
think-
commissioning agent.
I think it makes sense to do that because he'll go through all those drawings, like we're talking about the
No,
valves. and all
I
that.
understand, and I love the idea.
And he'll get all that straightened out right up front and go through it. And
Yeah.
there's certain things that they did at the pumps, I know, in the high school that we had to go back and redo.
Yeah.
And get additional
You mean
prices.
after they were installed? Or-
After we bought it out.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
And that triggered the start with Ferguson.
Oh.
The BMS,
No,
the
it started
coordinated
with contract.
building management system, all
Yeah.
controls,
Right.
sequence.
So would the CM have to coordinate with the commissioning agent? Probably would, right?
Yeah, no, we'll write it in their contract that way,
Okay.
that they have to coordinate with them.
So I should add that to the CM RFP and the
Correct.
pre-construction services, that
Correct.
this is the intent.
Yes.
Okay, got it. I like the idea. The more QC, the better, because it saves you so much of the back end.
More
as you guys already
integration
know.
and.
Well, there's a lot to do with like the control systems in the building.
Yeah.
And that's where he works with them on that.
Right.
It makes life a lot easier.
You mean like Allerton and all that, their smart building system?
We can, when the commission's ready and things are to the point, we can ask for a proposal, a tiered proposal from SES for pre-construction, pre-bid, and then,
Oh, okay.
they, just to pay them to look through what we have to do.
Absolutely.
And then we can take that to council, the CM agreement,
Right.
either in conjunction before or after something.
Yeah.
They should pay for themselves, so it's not for a talk.
That's the idea we usually do. That's where it makes the most sense.
Another set of eyes.
Council does that.
Not after the fact,
No.
because then we're just playing catch up for the rest of the job.
Finance board pays that, council.
No, we didn't carry anything in the budget for that, did we? All the budgeting we put together? Do we have anything for a
No.
commissioning
You
agent?
mean in the estimates we got?
Yeah.
No.
So could you call them and ask them for a proposal? And then let's get that in with our budgeting.
For all three schools or just Willard?
We'll break it out by school.
Okay.
So then in the same way we're going to award the contracts and parts, we'll do
Yeah.
the same thing with them.
Yeah, because
Tom, you good?
Paid for by just the change orders saved.
You awake?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Attaboy.
Hey, we're testing a new speaker here, actually, speaker and microphone. Can you hear us better than at the last meeting?
Oh, I can hear you clear as a bell. It's 1,000.
Oh, okay, good.
Actually,
All right.
that's
Awesome. My compliments to the speaker purchaser.
That's Lisa.
Good job, Lisa.
You are.
Did you request it? Oh.
She got IT to put it there and whatever.
Well, that last meeting, nobody could hear each other.
I know, yeah.
Hey, we're making bounds here. We're
Yeah.
making leaps
Yeah.
and bounds.
So you're asking Doug to ask SCS.
SES. Proposals for each school.
For commission.
Samuel, Edward Samuel,
Is
CS.
it really?
No,
Oh.
SES.
Sustainable Engineering Solutions.
Charlie's here.
I think.
Sierra.
Sustainable,
All right.
Sierra Echo, yeah.
Yes, anyone you want to call it.
Sierra.
New business. Anybody have any new business?
You know, I like to throw some out there for
Okay.
the schedule for next year that we don't have any meetings in August. Because the council takes August off, we should do. But With that said, is this job will probably be going in the middle of August next year. And we may have to have a special call meeting, but let's get it on the agenda so there is no meeting.
Well,
And we'll talk about it later. We don't have to do it tonight.
we need at least to remember that.
We got to vote on it. We'd have to vote on it, but let's just put it out there and everyone think about it and let's vote on it before scheduling comes up.
And the new business.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Well,
How about old
Oh,
business?
okay,
Old
sorry.
business.
just a quick one.
That's history.
Old business?
Old business.
The
That's
truck
it.
wash.
Truck wash.
No.
It's in the paper. It's in the
Yes, it's in
paper.
the paper. It's been advertised. Pre-bid that I'm doing is September 1st. And the due date is September 22nd, so you have time, so it won't be till October.
What's that,
to deal with
Thursday? Day of the week's the 22nd.
22nd. Yeah, we like Thursdays because it's all 8 day, breaks it up,
Oh.
and it's, you know, whatever.
And then he can get his stuff.
23rd.
And then we can look at it. You have time to look at it because you got
Congratulations.
the visit 2 and you have 3.
Not quite 60.
What?
You submitted
I'm
6:30.
No, it's not on
Just
meeting.
didn't get to the half.
All right, any
So
more
that's
old
it.
business? Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'm not.
Already made mine.
I want to keep this going.
I've got a
Record
motion
is
to
intact
adjourn.
once
Any
again.
Second emotion.
Second. All those in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Opposed? We're done.
Thank you,
I
Tom.
thought there was a real risk of being done a little early tonight, but
We had too much to talk about.